Hi everyone, I'm not sure why I'm dressed as some kind of smart schoolgirl, but I guess it's kind of appropriate for today's video. It's going to be another sit down chatty one. I'm not sure why I'm making so many videos like this at the moment, but I'm just making videos that I want to film and they happen to be this kind of style. Today's video is going to be about finding your career path, and I came up with this idea quite a few months ago, but I've just been waiting for the right time to sit and talk about it, and it's just something I feel really passionate about. I'm not sure why. I guess it's because I really struggled at school and now I'm really proud of what I'm doing. It just happens to be a subject I'm really passionate about, and I always find myself talking to friends about it, and we all feel quite passionate about it actually. I feel like this is the sort of video I would have really enjoyed watching when I was at school or when I was at uni or when I'd left uni, so I'm hoping that some of you might enjoy watching this. So let's start by talking about school, and I really struggled at school. I've mentioned this before. I was definitely not an A grade student. I actually don't think I got one single A the whole time I was at school. I just struggled with the authority and the academic side of school. I feel like when you're at school, the teachers tend to put you in boxes. I mean, things might have changed now. I haven't been to school in a very long time, but I'm talking about when I was in school. They tend to look at what subjects you're good at and therefore what jobs you can go into with those subjects. And I always felt like there just wasn't a place for people who weren't good at any subjects or didn't love any of the subjects. You could be good at a subject and not enjoy it. And I just felt like I never fitted into any of those boxes. And not only did it make me feel really unconfident, the fact that I didn't feel like I was good at anything, but it was just a real struggle between me and my teachers all the time. I think doing well at school and being an intelligent person don't always go together. I would count myself as an intelligent person. I got 5 B's and 2 C's in my GCSEs, and I got 1 C and 2 D's in my A-levels. In one of my AS levels I actually got a U, which is unclassified. That means I probably got 3 points for writing my name, but I pretty much got nothing else right. That was a psychology AS level. I mean, I got a U. I really don't think I'm a stupid person. I would say I'm quite intelligent, and so that's kind of one of the points I wanted to make. I don't think you should feel like you're not an intelligent person if you don't do well at school. So let's use me as an example. I'm very aware that everyone has very different situations, but all I can do is use myself as an example and my experience. I'm aware it won't be the same for everyone. Let's forget about my actual job, which if you don't know, it's kind of blogging, YouTubing, everything that comes with that. It's a very new, strange kind of job, so forget about the actual job itself, but let's look more at the skills that come with my job. So as part of my job, I use writing, photography, editing, presenting, that's kind of what this is like, organisation, planning. And I think it's really interesting to look at all those different skills and see kind of how that was when I was at school. Writing, I would never, I mean still to this day I would never say I'm a writer. I'm sure loads of my grammar is terrible, but I don't think being amazing at English Lit, I got a B in English Lit I think, I don't think that means you're a great writer or not. I would never have said I wanted to be a journalist or anything like that. If you'd asked me at school or even uni, are you a good writer, I would have said no. But that's just because in school I wasn't good at it, or it wasn't something I took time to do. What I find quite interesting is I don't think schools and unis necessarily take a look at the things you're good at outside of school and the hobbies and passions that you have when you're not in school. And it's only something I've realised in the past couple of years, and my friends have also realised, that actually if you look a bit deeper, I was always into writing and I loved writing. I just didn't realise it. These are all my diaries. I kept a diary from age 10 to 16. This was my first diary, which by the way I read last night and it is hilarious. Maybe one day I'll read you some of the pages, it's very funny. So I had a diary from this one, and then I went to this one which went more teenager years, which is ridiculously embarrassing. And then I had another one, and then I've got 2 diaries from when I went travelling in my gap year. My friends always remember me keeping a diary, but it's not even something I thought about, it's just something I did. And I was quite consistent with it as well. So I obviously did enjoy writing. I obviously liked telling stories and writing down my thoughts, but it was never something that my teachers knew about or encouraged. It was just something I did at home. And I think a diary is pretty much like writing a blog. So I think that's really interesting that I've actually ended up doing something very similar to writing a diary, which is something I always enjoyed doing. I also found this in my old bedroom. This is the most hilarious thing. There's loads of them. So apparently, I also don't remember doing this, I used to make magazines. It was called The Fab Four, and it was about me and my best friends. There's Lily, Janie, Keisha, SJ. This one's called A Fallout. It's all about when we had like an argument. It's just the most hilarious thing. This one comes with a free gift, a Smartie lid. So I obviously had a really big passion for magazines and writing and creating things, and I think that's pretty interesting. I also loved being in school plays and acting, which I think comes hand in hand with making videos and presenting. And I used to make little videos when I went on holiday with my friends. I used to kind of film it and put together a little video just to show each other. And I also used to make little stop motion videos when I got a bit older at uni. I remember making a little video with paper clips where they'd go all along the table and they'd make a little heart shape. And I never put it anywhere. YouTube wasn't even around, but I remember just enjoying making things and finishing them and creating a project. So all of those interests and skills are things I use now, and at the time it was never something I thought could affect my career or job. So I think the point, I'm trying to find actual points to this video, I think the point of that part is that maybe you have skills and interests that you don't even realise you have. Just because you're not good at maths or science or art or any of the subjects at school doesn't mean that you have other interests just outside of those boxes that actually you'll end up using in your career. As a really extreme example, if your careers teacher were to ask you, what do you enjoy doing? And you were to say something ridiculous like, I really like speaking to my friends every night on the phone. A careers teacher would probably say, great, what are you going to do with that? I hated talking on the phone. So that's not something everyone enjoys doing. And actually one of my best friends has a job in sales, and her job is to talk on the phone all day. And for that job, you have to enjoy talking on the phone. So I really think there's actually a job for everything, for every interest, even talking on the phone. That's probably a ridiculous example. I think it's really important to have self-confidence and to be self-aware. And what I mean by that is to know your pros and to know your cons. When it comes to interviewing, so let's say you've left uni now and you're starting to interview for jobs, I think what will make you stand out from others is being really self-aware and being sure of yourself. Not being cocky and overconfident, but just knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at, where your skills lie. And I remember when I was interviewing, I found it really hard when people would ask me kind of what I'm good at. I found it quite hard to kind of sell myself and be proud of anything, especially after going to school and uni and just being so bad at everything. I felt like I was just a failure. And I remember I was in the pub with my best friend Hannah, and I was talking to her about an interview, and I was quite nervous and unsure of myself. And without me even asking her, actually, she kind of launched into this speech, and she basically listed off all the qualities that she thought I had that were great. And she told me I was kind and organised, and you know, she went through all the different qualities. And not only was that a massive confidence boost and lovely to hear from someone else, but she said some things I would never have described myself as, because I think sometimes someone who knows you really well that's not yourself can see qualities that you can't even see in yourself. So I would really recommend asking someone close to you to tell you what they think of you and what you're good at and what sort of person you are, because you might hear things that you didn't know, and it's a great confidence boost and it's really interesting and a great way to be self-aware. I also think it's important to know that there are so many jobs out there. Again, it depends where you live and what opportunities are available to you, but I feel like when you're at school, it's very much, do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a singer? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a dentist? And I never wanted to be any of those things, or didn't feel like I could. There are so many more jobs available, and I think if you try and think about what sort of thing you're interested in, then when you can and if you have the opportunity, just launch yourself into that industry. One of the best jobs I had was when I was a runner in advertising. So I knew that I kind of had an interest in advertising. My uncle worked in it. I kind of liked adverts, you know, it was something to go on. So I got a job as a runner. I don't think I got paid at first, and when I did it wasn't much, but it was the best experience ever. A runner is basically, if you go on a photo shoot or a shoot for an advert, it's the person basically running around getting tea and doing all the rubbish jobs. From doing that job, I met so many different people and I saw all the different jobs available in the advertising industry. So I saw the agency, they were the really important people we couldn't really talk to, and then the client, who were even more important, and the agency spoke to the client, and I worked for the production company, and within that there was a director, and then there was the talent who was the model, and then there was hair and wardrobe, and I kind of got to see all the different jobs that go on to make one thing. And it meant that I could see, am I interested in working for an agency? Am I interested in working for a client? Do I like the production company? Do I want to be in the advert myself? Do I want to help make all the props for the advert? Do I want to do the makeup? It's the best way to see what is out there, because I think that's the hardest thing. I remember saying, I don't even know what jobs are available. How can I know what I want to do when I don't even know what exists? And I think that's one of the best ways to find out what jobs there are out there. I also remember in between reception jobs, and I worked in shops and stuff, I used to do market research, which is when you basically get paid like £40 for a couple of hours of your time, and a market research research agency will show you an advert or show you a piece of packaging, and you basically have to give your opinion. It's meant to be kind of like a random group of people. That's how all kind of brands and companies do market research. Obviously it was nice to get a bit of money on the side, but that's where I really realised I actually had a passion and an interest for advertising and marketing, because everyone else was just there to say, yeah, I like that colour, or no, I don't like that colour. And I found myself kind of getting really involved and going, oh, I think it would be much better if it was like this, and and getting really passionate about it. So that was quite an easy way for me to realise clearly I have an interest in that. So I think the point of this video is to tell you of my experience, maybe give you a little bit of confidence to those who don't fit in any of the boxes at school, and let you know that there's so many other jobs out there outside of the usual jobs you hear about. If you fail school, you will be alright. Obviously, try your hardest not to. I did try, I promise. But I think it's quite easy to leave school feeling a bit like a failure, and it's important not to feel that way and to really take a look at yourself and your passions and your interests, and you're probably a lot better at a lot more stuff than you realise you are. So I hope you found this video interesting. I hope there was some kind of point to it, something you can take away. But please leave me comments and let me know. I want this to be like a two-way conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed my vlog from Paris that went up on Tuesday, and on Sunday I have a really special video going up with a special person, so that's a little clue there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for my next video. Bye!